So our story begins in Waterdeep, the city of splendors of Faerun, north of the Sword Coast. Now, Waterdeep is well known for being very wealthy as well as influential when it comes to the laws of the land. Many adventurers come here seeking glory and treasure, and if they're not picking up quests and adventures from other travelers, they are testing their mettle in the Undermountain, a infamous dungeon beneath a tavern that we will get to in a moment. But our adventurers here have all come from different walks of life, and they've all found themselves in a close proximity to one another. Beginning with Kane, our blue dragonborn. He's tough, he's a brawler, but he gets the job done. And he's very familiar with Waterdeep. And tonight, he's in the Yawning Portal, seeking out rumors for a quest that he has been given personally. But he is no stranger to the odds and end tasks. So we will switch over to the Yawning Portal, a tavern whose name seems to come from the 40-foot diameter hole in the ground, for there is a well here that leads into the Undermountain, a deadly dungeon that sees many attempt to travel down within for glory. I'm still getting used to this sound mixer. That was a very abrupt change.
We're here for it, X. Don't worry.
I really am. I'm like, give it to us.
But yes, so we are in the Yawning Portal with Kane.
Okay.
Around you, Kane, you've been here once or twice before, but allow me to describe it again.
Yep.
There are about 4 floors, all of which are visible from this inside cylindrical shape, as there is a column open in the center of this tavern, leading towards the center, which is this massive well. Now, you've heard many people talk about heading in, or even coming to the tavern to gather up a crew in order to venture within the Underdark, or the Undermountain. But not many of them return.
Okay. So I guess I'll be at a bar, kind of. Well, I'll be at a table, scoping out like the faces that I might be familiar with, whether it be guardsmen or like other people.
Okay. The tavern is actually quite full tonight. Now, it comes and goes. Some nights are more rambunctious than others. But tonight it seems a couple of adventuring groups are going to be trying themselves in the Undermountain.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, if the city watch is the guardsman here, right?
Yes. If you look about you, it's hard to tell through the crowds, but there doesn't appear to be any city watch in here. You know that they typically steer clear, but there is a cleric there from one of the local temples, there to offer aid to any adventurer lucky enough to resurface from the Undermountain.
All right, then I'm probably just going to keep a low profile as low as I can right now, and not really do much to bring any attention to myself.
All right. So, the door swings open, and another person enters. This one has not been back to Waterdeep in a little bit of time, for they were off searching information near and dear to them, though they kept being pointed back here. So, Koraktao steps into the Yawning Portal.
I'm gonna immediately begin crossing over to the bar, much like I've done before after my moments of disappointment. And yeah, I'll kind of just like give a nod to the barkeep as if to like suggest I need the usual.
Durnan pours a tap of ale and slides it over to you.
I'll drop down my dragon for my ale.
Perfect.
Just no words exchanged, that nod, and I'll just start chugging that.
He takes your coin before attending to his other duties. You see down the bar a big blue dragonborn.
I'm gonna cast a glance over and mentally say, my friend, it seems I'm ill-fated to be here once more and see you yet again.
So I'm assuming that was like
That was a ping ping. That was a mental.
All right, I'm gonna kind of like nod up and see if I can see where the voice, like, can I put a faceless voice if I can see? Because I can't communicate telepathically.
No, you glance up and kind of look about you, and you see on the other end of the bar, sipping a tankard, is Ko.
I'm gonna grab my drink off the table and just beeline it to Ko.
As Kane is coming over, I'm kind of gonna just like be waiting with arms open, just like no words.
I'm gonna hug him. I'll meet his hug. I'm gonna try and voice that Kane, but my nerves might get the best of me. My friend, I didn't think I'd be seeing you here. What brings you back? Last time I talked, you said you would never come to Waterdeep again.
Well, if you must know, I ran into another dead end. It seems getting back home is going to be a lot more complicated than I anticipated.
Well, isn't that the way?
It is, but I wish it weren't so.
Well, it isn't all bad news. I'm gonna kind of give him a big pat on the back and say, your ill will actually brings me luck. I'm on the hunt as usual, and I was prowling the talent around here, and let me say I'm not impressed. I've worked with many of these men and been on the receiving end of a boot a few times. Not interested in palling up, but with you, I know that you said that you might be looking to get home, but maybe if you're looking to kill some time and find some leads of that, you can help me out along the way. Help me find what I'm looking for, and in turn, I can help you as well.
You know, the last time I helped you out, we got into a lot of trouble.
Beb, I'm gonna stop you there. It wasn't me you were helping out. We were working for the same contract. We worked together.
You say together, but I feel like I was the one who had to talk us out of the situation.
Hey, I told you if we wanted me to run in there and do whatever it took, I would. But you talkers, I'll let you do your thing, and that's how you chose it. You tell me to pull that knife, and I do.
Yes.
But you wanted to talk, so we went your way. I'm not a bad companion, you must admit. You did a lot of the work, however, you asked for that work.
But you know I do not like to engage in the actual verbalization of words.
Good, so we'll lie low this time. We'll gather dragons together, and then we'll do what we need to do to move forward.
So be it. And I'll kind of raise a glass or the tankard to that.
Beautiful. Catching back up with old friends. Now, in another part of Waterdeep, there are two travelers whose companionship seems a bit odd, but their path has been mutual thus far. The Warforged Temin traveled alone for quite a long time before meeting the halfling Phoebe. Their travels have led them to Waterdeep, and Temin's quest to become stronger, to aid those whom he can, has led him to the City Watch of Waterdeep, a very powerful group and a police force that is respected by its community. During his first initiations, a rumor came through of a large gathering happening at a tavern in the castle ward called the Yawning Portal. Well, this is not uncommon, and they think it would be relatively simple to break up this gathering, so they send the fresh initiate. Let's see what he can do to break apart this rabble-rousing and prevent unwarranted deaths of adventurers. So you are sent, Temin, to the castle ward to see what you can do about this. Phoebe, I assume you are accompanying your large friend?
I am.
Wonderful. And so the two of you arrive outside of a... an interesting building. Around it, there's still ancient rubble. Something else was here before. But in the center of it seems to be a rebuilt half tower that caps off on the top. The entranceway is relatively plain, but you can hear the music playing from within, and above the door swings a sign, the Yawning Portal. You open it and step in. Back inside the tavern, we have quite a rambunctious group. It seems that the City Watch did get a good tip. There are a lot of adventurers here, and a few of them are in cliques, and in fact seem to be messing with one another before their delve into the Undermountain. Some are already trying to pick fights, while others seem to be stealing from one another in a not-so-stealthy manner. The tavern itself is relatively large, about 100 feet across in diameter, but you do notice something in the middle. A large 40-foot diameter well, and a rope suspended from a pulley system dangling above the hole. There are many tables and chairs in here, and as you look up, you notice the rings of this tavern as they extend 3 additional floors, filled just the same with all sorts of people. Though you note as it goes up, there aren't as many adventurers up there, but on the first rung, there appears to be people of wealth, finer clothing. Above them, it seems to descend, but still, these are people here looking for a show. Probably taking bets on those below.
Temin, can you believe this music? Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah,
Just look
sure.
at how many people are in here.
All the more people to pick a fight with, I suppose.
Temin, we've talked about this. No picking fights. We use our words first.
They didn't teach us to use our words in war.
But this isn't war. This is a tavern, and everyone's having fun, and so should we.
I don't know if picking up the dead bodies of everyone that goes into that well is considered fun.
I mean, I can't really say that that looks like the safest subject for furniture, but nonetheless, this isn't my home, so who am I to say?
Always the cheery one.
I don't know how else to be, and I'm gonna walk toward the well.
Wait.
So, Phoebe, you approach the well, and the cobblestone that lines it as it protrudes from the ground is about chest height for you. But you can peer over, and you just see darkness. There is quite the drop here. In fact, if you hold a hand out, you feel a slight draft of the air below.
You're on mute.
I realize that. Booker, that looks like a really long way down. I don't think we want to fall down there. And I'm just gonna look around.
I'm
Okay.
gonna come up behind her and just be like, "Don't worry, Phoebe. You're not gonna fall down any time with me here."
Oh, I didn't realize you followed. But that's good to know.
A rather sloppy individual kind of bumps his way over and half leans against the well with a tankard in his hand, and he looks down at you. This is no place for children. Don't you know what's down there?
No, could you tell me?
All manner of evil. They'll tear you to shreds and eat you, and then they'll shit out your bones.
Who will?
The monsters.
What kinds of monsters?
Well, I'm certain there's all kind of monsters down there.
Have you seen them?
Well, no, I've not gone down
Well, then
myself.
how do you know?
But, we all know here, child. Whose child is this?
Don't call her a child. And then just like grab this dude by the shoulder.
His eyes open now fully as he takes you in, and he looks at your form, your mechanical being, and his eyes grow wide, and he looks at his tankard and he looks back at you, and he starts to walk away.
Seemed like a lot of fun.
Did I say something wrong?
I don't think so.
Now, at the bar, Kane, go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
I'm so prepared for D&D. Hold on. Let me just skip my... Okay. Actually, this is a new character. I don't know what my perception is. That is a 10. Flat 10.
Okay. You notice while Durnan is attending his bar, he's filling up a tankard, and he pauses for a moment to stare at someone by the well, and then continues to go back to his work. Now, from what you know about Durnan, he doesn't really care about people too much, and he sees a lot of them in here. You find his pause to be, well, no cause for concern, but curious at the least.
And Jordan's the barkeep, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Durnan is a human man. He appears to be in his mid to late 40s. He's got about medium-length hair, fit physique. He wears nice clothes. And, Kane, you know what they say about Durnan. The man is hundreds of years old, and he's the only one who has conquered the Undermountain. Or so the legend goes.
Okay. I'm going to excuse myself from Co, like, real quick, and I'm actually going to go, talk to Durnan.
Okay. We're gonna get you a big one. Another?
Actually, yes. And, my question is, You know, I'd ask you and you tell me yes anyways, so why would I even ask you if all the rumors about you were true? I'm gonna, like, kind of lean on the bar. Like...
He slides you a fresh ale, taking your tankard. Don't believe everything you hear.
You're right, I don't. That's why I don't believe any of the rumors about you.
Believe them or not, matters little to me. You'll be gone before I even realize anyways.
And then I'll be back before you even realize. Bothering you once again.
We shall see. And then he...
Listen. Before you run off, your nod to the well. What's the issue? You're around it often. Do you often stop to take a look inside?
The well? I've not much care for it. I've spent enough time in there myself.
So they say. And what of it? Any tips for... I'm gonna gesture to all of the muscle that Kane is. Any tips for an amateur like me?
It's gonna take more than what you've got.
Says you. If a scrawny barkeep like you can get through that, then of course I'm not afraid of any of it.
Good. Don't be afraid. But don't forget it's a dragon to get down, and another to come back.
I'll make it work, I always do. And I'm gonna kind of tap on the bar and take the drink and head back.
All right. You turn around, grabbing your tankard, and you see by the well a child. At least what appears to be a child in this large, oversized, ill-fitting clothes for this halfling. But more peculiar, standing next to it, some type of humanoid you've only heard rumor about.
Quizzically looking at it, I'm gonna see if I can catch eyes with Ko, if he followed my gaze or where I was going or anything.
I think, yeah, I would have been intrigued at as you spoke with Dernan, and would have kind of like followed along with my eyes, probably leaning back on the bar.
Okay.
Kind of just
Meeting his gaze like through the crowd, I'm gonna kind of like nod over to. I'm heading this way. Want to meet me that way, like toward Phoebe and for the smile child and the curious figure.
As Kane nods, you're nodding in that direction, correct? As you nod in that direction, I'm gonna look over there to Kane. You guys have... He's gonna kind of like actually look very intently, like lean off the bar. You guys have warforged in these lanes?
I'm just gonna narrow my eyes as he asks me the question and just kind of start heading in that direction.
He's immediately like kind of like trailing along, like he's kind of intrigued now.
So, approaching from behind you, Temin, is a rather large dragonborn and another man with him.
Do I notice them approaching?
They seem to be looking directly at you as they walk up.
I'm gonna put both my hands up. I'm sorry, gentlemen. I'm afraid I can't let you pass.
Can't let me pass.
Look at Kane.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing. This is a bar, my friend. This is a public space and I can pass through anyway. What are you exactly blocking?
I am, for the safety of everyone here, preventing passage to the well.
Oh, the city watch isn't here, my dear. Please. If I'm going to pass, I will go through. You shouldn't be protecting people who don't want protection, mind you. There are people looking to get down the well and will probably kill you to get through you. For the reward down there is worth any battle that you might put up.
Is that reward worth their life, possibly?
If they find fit, then why would you stop them?
Because I was sent here on a task to stop people from killing themselves.
And what if they don't? What if they're like our beloved barkeep over there who makes it out alive? Then you take them, you take that hero status away from them. You take any power that they may be after and they find worthy of their life to give.
Excuse me? Did you say that the barkeep made it out alive?
That's what they all say. And that's what he'll say if you ask him. And the real reason I came over here was not to pick a fight with you, but to inquire why this small child is in a dangerous bar such as this place.
Oh,
My
me?
concern was for the child, so for someone who's protecting life, maybe you should usher the small one out.
But I want to be here.
And she isn't a child.
So you don't find this dangerous that her life may be sacrificed coming in here? But she wants to be here, so it's allowed.
But, I mean, everyone seems to be having a good time.
Right, around a well filled with monsters, and who's thinking about going down there themselves.
How do you know it's filled with monsters if you haven't been down there?
Well, all right, to go off on that logic, if it's not filled with monsters, then why stop people?
I mean, I'm not trying to stop people. Temin's trying to stop people. But I'm friends with Temin, and I support him in whatever he wants to do to get stronger. So that's why I'm here. But I want to learn about the monsters. So I'm going to go talk to that guy behind the counter, and I'm just going to, like, march towards the barkeep with my hand pointed at him.
The entire time that this dialogue is happening, Ko is like analyzing the Warforged in front of him. Like, he's kind of baffled a little bit. It's been quite some time since he's seen a Warforged, and where he's from, they are in abundance, and he knows them to be machines of war. So he's pretty curious right now. I would even say, if anybody's looking at him, you'll see that his eyes are glowing blue as he's studying you.
I'm gonna turn to Ko and just say, what? Never seen a Warforged before?
No, Temin, mentally you will hear Ko's voice. It is not that I haven't seen your kind, it's that I've seen plenty of you far from here. And I'm curious. And as he's saying this, he's kind of like looking up. I'm assuming that Temin is larger than me. He's kind of looking up. Tell me, have you been to Eberron?
DM question. Have I been to Eberron?
You don't know what an Eberron is.
Okay. I'm just gonna look at Ko confused. It's like, what the hell is Eberron?
Never mind. And I'm dropping I'm dropping my communication with him, and I'm gonna kind of just like turn to Kane.
As Phoebe leaves, my eyes are definitely watching Phoebe now, pulled away from the Temin in that conversation.
I'm gonna kind of just like, I'm actually going to vocalize this now. My friend, what do you know of his kind in this world?
Would you like me to whisper, or Temin, do you care not what I have to say?
Say what you will. I've heard worse.
I know a lot about their kind. I've heard a lot. Haven't exactly dealt with them. I've seen them from afar. However, they say a lot about my kind as well, and a half of it's garbage. I look at Temin straight in the face. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But the way you're behaving for this greater good bullshit, if you think you're a noble one because you're saving people's lives around this shithole, becoming part of a city watch is a joke. We'll see. But I'm not one to judge anybody until I get to know them.
Likewise.
At this
I mean,
point,
was it?
Go ahead.
Hey, Cole is gonna kind of like turn back, and he's actually, still actually using his mouth to speak now. Timon, perhaps I can buy you a drink. Oh, wait, never mind. Join me at the bar. And he's gonna kind of loop his arm around, like as if Timon was his buddy, and he's gonna start trying to drag him over towards the bar. We have much to discuss.
Very well.
Well, as you start dragging him to the bar, you hear a commotion break out behind you. The sound of, "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" And then a fight breaks out in the tavern. Drinks start to get smashed. Tables and chairs begin to flip over as now several groups of adventurers are getting pulled in to this entire base floor fight.
I'm gonna lean up and basically, because I'm close to Temin and Co, and I'm gonna yell at Temin to grab his child.
Phoebe!
Yep.
Where are you?
Here.
Get behind the bar.
Amidst the chaos, you see small Phoebe, and as she raises her hand, a table flies right over her fingertips. Were she any taller, it certainly would have hit her.
Oh, damn it!
Mr. DM, sir.
Yes.
At this point, Phoebe obviously knows that shit's crazy, right?
Oh, yeah.
So she's gonna be like, "Oh, well, that's not very nice. There's fun and there's too much fun," and I'm gonna cast Calm Emotions.
Okay. As you cast that, Durnan from behind the bar stops filling drinks. "Hey, you take that outside."
Me or them?
To everyone who's fighting. Let me look at calm emotions. 60 feet. All right. Charisma
The save
saving
is
throw.
Charisma
or fail
14.
it. If it fails, choose one of the following effects. So you're gonna make them no longer hostile with each other.
Yes. Preferably.
I'll make a couple. Well, that's a natural one. All right. Okay. Then, even the band themselves, everything just kind of stops. And people just look about at each other. They look at the mess that's been made. A few noses are being readjusted. And they all go back to drinking their drinks. The band looks at each other. And they go back to playing.
Maybe that's much better.
Is this normal?
In a bar? Yes. Very normal.
In this bar, this is a regular occurrence.
Oh no, my player broke.
Technical issues, it's a thing.
Classic. Can you guys hear anything?
Yes.
I can still hear it. Yeah.
It's still the bar music without the tuffling.
Okay.
So you're good.
But stream can't hear it. Alright, I'll sort that out.
No.
Well, it sucks for stream.
I think my stream might still be able to hear it.
Yeah, probably. Oh, that's because the player crashed. Cool. Well, anyways, so so the fighting stops and dies down. And fortunately, not too much was damaged. Things are able to be cleaned up, and Durnan behind the bar is pretty disgruntled about what's going on, but you know, not too disheartened. And after a few minutes, there we go. After a few minutes, a group of adventurers steps up, and they hold a gold coin in hand, Durnan, we're ready. You then hear a few people raise their tankards and begin to swarm around the well to view. You see even the band members kind of crane their necks while they're playing to take a look at what's happening. Up on the top rungs, nobles are now getting out of their seats to crane over the railings to see what's about to happen next. Durnan steps out from behind the bar and retrieves the dragon, which is a term here in Waterdeep for gold coin. Pockets it and says, "All right, would you like to prepay for your trip back up?" They kind of look between each other. "No, we'll pay when we're ready." "Suit yourself. 2 at a time." He then grabs the rope on the pulley and brings it down for them to get on. 2 of them get on, and it gets lowered down into the hole quite a ways before it stops, and then he begins to reel it back up. After a couple of hands from below, you hear a scream, and then another, and then silence.
I'm gonna like laugh at this, and then I'm gonna reach over at Temin and kind of like shake his shoulder around and be like, "Aren't you gonna do something? Stop those people paying to go down there."
The people had swarmed around the well, kind of shake their heads, and literally everybody just goes back to their tables. The rope reaches the top of the well, and he looks at the others, the other 2 adventurers. "Next." And they kind of, "No way, man. No way." "Suit yourself." And he ties back up the rope and heads back behind the counter.
Every time. Anyways, Temin. Enough of this policing the free folk, if you
You're
will.
just going to let them die like that?
Listen, man, it's a noble cause, but I stand by what I say. You cannot help those that do not wish to help themselves.
Agreed.
It is a fate they paid for themselves. You saw it.
But you can certainly help those in need, and I am in need. Where I'm from, like I mentioned before, your kind are relatively common. Who created you? Do you know? And like, Ko's gonna be like all up in Temin's like grill right now. He's just like inspecting. He's just trying to get as much information as possible. And I would even go as far as to say he's just like going down a list of questions, like invasive questions, like where are you from? How old are you? How'd you find yourself here? Etc.
I mean, I'm just going to look at Ko and, just respond like, I am Tenman of the East Wind Battalion. I was created as a paladin to fight alongside my brothers. I served under a human commander.
And these brothers of yours, also of your nature or make?
Varied builds, yes.
This is very interesting. Hold that thought. And then Ko's gonna order another drink.
All right.
And then pull out a notebook and start writing down some notes based off of what Temin has been giving in terms of information. Yeah.
So
I'm gonna look over to Kane first and just to go, does your friend always take notes like this with everyone he meets?
Everyone you meet is valuable in some way. Why not let him? Do you have something you're worried about him writing down?
Not in the least. I was just curious.
I understand. I'm not gonna rake you over the coals anymore, and don't mind me, I'm not gonna get in your way. Unless you get in mine, of course. I have no problem with you, Temin. But I do fear for Phoebe. She's quite small, and I am quite curious. Any question I would ask is, are you two companions? Have you been traveling together? And how did that
Yes.
happen?
Is Phoebe near us?
I think Phoebe is like kind of like holding her weight over the counter and like hanging off of it, and she's like asking Duran like a million questions. Like, was that the monsters that got them? What? How long have you been using that rope? Does the rope break? Like a million questions, and he's already disgruntled.
Yeah, he's certainly not really answering your questions.
Cool. So no,
I'm just-
I mean, am I near Temin? Am I hearing this?
Probably not.
Cool.
But Temin, you do see Phoebe is at the bar and she is bugging the barkeep, but she doesn't appear to be in any danger at the moment. That is until a robed figure walks up and puts a hand on her shoulder. Pardon me. You look up and you see a human male dressed in a white robe. There is a gold lacing around the hem, and you can tell that the robe has a hood on it, though he is not currently wearing it. I saw what you just did here to break up that horrible fighting.
Mhm.
You must be a protector of life, yes?
I mean, you could call it a lot of things. I just don't think it's nice when people fight each other.
That is true. I saw the one that you came in with, and he looks over at Temin.
Mhm.
Perhaps you are looking for the capability to help those in need?
I mean, if it's something I don't know already for how to help people, then sure.
Wonderful. Then perhaps I will speak to him as well.
Okay, go for it. He's really nice.
The figure then takes a small bow and approaches the three of you on the other side of the bar. He approaches Temin. He looks you up and down. Sir, are you a warrior for the just?
I am.
We are in great need of your assistance. I have come here because I was told that this is where I could find the best adventurers. But unfortunately, all I've seen are a bunch of muscleheads eager to get themselves killed. Now, I do wish to ask you for your aid and assistance for my people in our land. I can, of course, pay you good money for your service. And Kane and Co., you do hear this.
I think upon hearing like this guy talking to Temin, Cole's gonna stop writing his notes and kind of just like be looking forward, but like listening in intently to this conversation.
Okay.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm listening.
Do you have any response for him, Timon?
Might I ask what kind of task this is?
I just need someone who can protect me as I seek out the sunken citadel. Now,
And what it?
that name means nothing to you, but Kane and Phoebe, you've definitely heard the name Sunken Citadel before. In fact, it is kind of a legend around Faerun of a giant spire that used to be filled with great magic that sunk underground after the eruption of Mount Neverwinter, I believe.
Neverwinter, you said?
I did, but I think that's wrong. I'll get you the correct name in a minute. But yes, you've definitely heard of it before.
All right, I'll chime in. Listen, you think you're gonna get protection from this guy? Maybe, but money isn't gonna help him. He doesn't want that. He wants to save lives. So what's your purpose going down there? Why would you like to go to that sunken spire?
Well, if you must know, there is a mad wizard, Belak. He seeks the Gulthias tree, and to take the fruit that grows from it. This could be very bad, for it only produces one fruit every solstice.
What are the effects of this fruit?
As legend states, in the summer, the fruit gives life. But in the winter, it brings only death. It is important that these fruits and their seeds are not able to be experimented upon or taken by anyone. So I seek to go there to cast a protection ritual upon the Gulthias tree, but I cannot do it alone.
Am I within earshot?
You can have followed over if you'd like.
Okay, cool. I will have done that. Nothing else.
Okay.
And how do I
what?
know? Go ahead.
No, go.
And how do I know you're not looking for the fruit yourself to do misdeeds?
I am merely a shepherd of the peace, sir.
Insight check.
All right.
Do I believe him? Let me get my skills.
Have you any proof? I just asked for like some kind of like religious emblem or something.
Yeah. What did you get on your insight check?
That's a natural 8.
He appears to be genuine.
Not surprised. Everyone's genuine.
Yep.
Oh, Phoebe.
Sweet summer child.
So innocent. So corrupt.
He produces a talisman. It is a rectangular shape, but there is a cutout of a shimmering star in the corner of it. And he holds it out to you. I am a cleric of Tamara, the goddess of light, mercy, and forgiveness. I seek no ill will towards anybody, only protection.
Do I recognize this person at all?
No, you don't recognize him from around Waterdeep. In fact, based on the state of his clothing and his demeanor, you're pretty sure he hasn't spent much time here.
Cool. Not trying to get into your head, Temmin. However, I'm gonna like lock eyes with this character, totally taunting him. He could have easily killed someone for that talisman and is now parading around as a good guy.
I would
We'll
never.
know.
No.
Pardon my skepticism, but I also want to say, what the hell is with all you adventurers going after legends and kooky fruit that make you live forever?
I just see the danger of such a thing being unchecked, and with Belak being a known madman, it would be best to make sure that he is not there.
What makes him a mad man? Is he an angry man? Or is he a crazy man?
He has done terrible experiments on many people that did not deserve or ask for it. He has sought to control nature to his will, and through these actions, we believe that he could in fact be searching for the Gulthias tree at the Sunless Citadel.
Huh. Well, that doesn't sound very nice.
It would not be very nice. That is why I approached you, seeing your capability for compassion towards others who clearly seek not to give it. He takes a look at Kane. Now, I offer coin for aid if that will persuade you.
I don't really care about dragons. I'm more of the book person. If you can teach me a spell, if you can give me some history, maybe some tomes or some old scrolls, Booker and I are all yours.
Well, hopefully, he looks at the stuffed bear. Hopefully we won't be dealing with any dragons on this adventure, but I can certainly teach you some healing of Tamara.
No, not dragons. And I point to Kane. And then I like go through like a pouch where I look for a dragon somewhere, and I hold it up. I'm like, dragons.
Oh, I see. Yes. I can certainly teach you.
Okay. Tammin, I want to help.
All right, Phoebe. Does he look like a nobleman of sorts? This cleric?
While his clothing is quite fine, he has a stubble on his face, and he doesn't really have the mannerism of a noble.
And just who sent you here to...
Our grand cleric sent several of us across the land to seek aid. So hopefully my brothers and sisters have found people just as capable as yourself to aid us.
Oh my gosh, think of the numbers.
Yes. But I must ask, how much would you be seeking for your assistance in this?
I mean, I just want to learn.
Okay.
Tammin.
You still need to eat. I just look over to Phoebe.
But look at all this, and I like go in my backpack and I like pull out some rations.
They'll only last for so long.
How about this? We are not the richest church, but I can offer you 200 gold each.
We don't play with gold around here.
Sorry. Dragons. 200 dragons each.
Well, I know I wasn't invited to the party, but if I may, I mean, I totally would help out for some dragons. And Temmin, I'm gonna look at Temmin like, please let me come with you. Because what we could do is, if this man is not noble, I'm gonna kind of like glare at him, but smirk. When we get there at that precious fruit that can't be manipulated by evil, we'll be able to take care of him too, if it is true, of course. What do you say, Temmin? If you don't want to kill him, I will.
I don't think we should kill anyone.
Okay, fine, I don't have to kill him. However, if you have to kill him, I'll do it, and then you won't feel bad about it.
Well, what if I don't want you to come?
I just looked at a cleric. He's coming.
Okay.
Tell me, cleric. Your grand cleric that you mentioned. And like, I imagine that Ko, he resumed his lean back position that he had before on the bar. And then he just like starts getting right up again, the same way he did to Temmin. Tell me, this grand cleric of yours, how close are they to your god?
The closest one can be.
So they can communicate freely with them, yes?
Well, since the spell plague, the gods have certainly been less deliberate with their communications with us, but yes, they would have the closest.
Would your god, Tamara,
Yes.
is she a strong god?
Yeah, she offers mercy and forgiveness. She is not one of combat, but she has been known to deal with justice. But
perfect. So, let's say I help you get this fruit or whatever. Could I gain favor with your god and inquire about something? She seeks justice, and so do I.
You may be able to. There is a initiation into the church. Those that we seek to strike down, though, are mostly undead, as they are bastardizations of the cycle of life. But
Yeah. But anyways, about this favor, do you know what could I get? Does she have a limit, a range?
that would probably be a question best for the Grand Cleric.
And if I travel with you, I can meet said cleric?
It would be entirely possible.
Then we have it. I'm joining too.
You're joining as well.
Of course. I'm gonna look to Kane. We're not
You muted.
doing.
You muted.
You're muted.
Muted, yeah.
I say, of course, and I'm gonna pat him on the back.
The more the merrier.
It will not be like last time, though.
Oh, no, it won't. I'm gonna do all the work this time. I'm gonna just kind of smile and nudge Temin.
Last time.
You don't worry about that. Anyways.
I'm gonna grab Ko on the shoulder. Stop pressing the dumb, bubbling idiot, and let's be on our way now. You're going to help him, and we'll get what we can later.
I nod. Just like immediately just boop. Say no more.
All right. He shakes his head for a minute. The more help we can have, the better. Come, I've paid for a room here. We can discuss the details there. And he leads you to a back room in the tavern. To relate to you your quest. The room he leads you in is small. It looks like an office area. There are several chairs and a large table in the center. There is also a chest there that appears to not be a part of the decor. It might, in fact, be this cleric's traveling gear. All right. He goes into the trunk and opens it and pulls out a few things and lays out a map of Faerun and points at it. So, based on the information that we have, the Citadel should be somewhere around here. And the area he points to on the map is near a small town called Oakhurst, which is just north of Neverwinter Wood, which is north of Waterdeep. The eruption of... It is said in the legend that the eruption of Mount Hatanau, which is next to Neverwinter Wood, caused the sinking of the Citadel. Now, everything else is just rumors of whispers heard around. The Gothius tree itself is just a rumor that has emerged within the past 12 years. The reason we've heard this is from the people of Oakhurst. In fact, he pulls out a letter that was scribed. There's a seal on it. You do not recognize the seal, but it's not extravagant, relatively simple. It seems to depict a tree of some form. Now, one of the people in Oakhurst informed the surrounding towns, including Neverwinter, though they seem to not care at the moment, that goblins were selling them apples. Now, this is a strange thing as it is, but the goblins claim that this fruit will give you great health. Now they're charging 50 gold pieces for it, so I'm sure you all know what this sounds like. But according to the farmers who have bought this fruit and eaten it, say that they felt invigorated afterwards. And in fact, they even planted the seeds themselves. But after a few nights, they were dug up and gone. Now, because of the rumors of the fruit that is born of the Gothius tree, and because the goblins are selling these apples only once a year, we think they are absolutely related, and we should begin our investigation at Oakhurst.
Hey, you just point us in that direction and we'll go. And just to clear up payment, like, we find these apples, right? And they're just apples, man. What are you gonna do? You're still paying us, right?
I'm paying for your assistance
Oh,
to
that's right.
see
So
me into the Sunless Citadel and cast my ritual of protection.
good.
Then
Just
you
wanna
will
clear
be
that up.
paid.
Perfect. So you tell us where to go and what we're doing, and we go.
Okay, I see. Do you have any questions? He looks at Temin and Phoebe kind of like, help me.
Why would goblins sell apples? I mean, I used to sell medicine because I would gather the things and make the medicine. People can't do that. But the earth grows the apples, not the goblins grow the apples. So why would the goblins grow the... And she's just going to keep doing this for a little bit.
It's a great question. Yes. Perhaps we can find out.
Okay,
Do
well,
they
that's my
serve-
only question.
Do they serve another? These goblins?
The goblins could in fact be under the service of Belak. He is known for his control over nature. But
Are we likely to oppose them?
it's possible. I'm not sure how many goblins there are. They could potentially put up a threat, but, you know, I seek not to harm too many of them, but we do have a quest that we need to complete.
Don't worry. Whatever comes our way, we'll surely deal with it.
Of course. All right. So, at this time, if you have any anything you would like to acquire for your trip, you will be heading off tomorrow. The cleric's name, by the way, is Zin. Z-I-N.
We don't need that. Then.
In the cleric.
He probably would have told you.
Oh, wait, I have another question. Because you're a cleric, and because you know other clerics, do you know Ulfara Honeypot?
I know none by this name.
Okay.
Okay.
Speaking of names, I don't think we've all formally introduced ourselves to one another. Well, that's Kane. I'm Koraktao. And you are? Little one?
Oh, me? I'm Phoebe. Phoebe Honeypot. And this is Booker.
Mhm.
Booker
A
and Phoebe,
pleasure.
I see.
Temmin.
And then Tim.
And I'm just gonna nod and like, yep, Temin.
And I just see them nodding, and I just start nodding for no reason.
Well then, now that we're introduced, shall we carry on? I have a date with a goddess.
Sounds romantic.
Hey, shoot your shot there, Co.
What is romance? I just look puzzled.
What is love? Baby, don't
I'm gonna
hurt.
put my hand on Temin's shoulder.
Temin, don't hurt me.
No more.
I'm gonna tell him I can bring you a few places later on.
And just do like the math meme and like just kind of look off confused. Like, I do not understand what that means.
Trust me, Kane knows quite a few places. You'll definitely get your dragon's worth.
Right.
All right. So, your journey north is about 10 days travel. All the way up and around Neverwinter Wood to Oakhurst. I just find it so
Are we
interesting.
traveling on foot?
You can quite easily procure a caravan.
Well, that would probably be of interest if that's available.
All right, and that should bring your travel down to let's say about 6 days, because I'm not finding the information I want here. Yeah, we'll say 6 days rather than 10.
Days on... Okay.
Okay. All right. So if there's no other delays, you begin on your travel north. Now, for those of you that have not traveled on this side of the Sword Coast, there is the range of Sword Mountains that wraps around above Waterdeep and below Neverwinter, positioned between the wood. You take a path leading up through a few towns, and you come down and around into the nook of Neverwinter Wood, nestled above the Sword Mountains. The trip does indeed take a few days, and during it, Zin attempts to tell you about Tamara, for relative success for some of you, though his teachings to Phoebe seem to be the only thing that passes the time for him. And while that's happening, is there anything any of you would like to complete during your almost week-long travel?
Phoebe. Go ahead.
This one's kind of a simple one. Cole would have kind of tried to get the newer members, or his new companions, so to speak, accustomed to his telepathy.
Okay.
And there'll be like the gradual kind of pulling off of like vocalization, and he'll just be communicating more telepathically as he grows more comfortable with you all.
So it is certainly Koraktau's MO to speak with his vocal cords as little as possible.
But yeah,
Okay.
that's it for me.
Temin?
I would have looked to Phoebe, maybe somewhere along our travels as we're traveling in this caravan. I would have looked to her and like, Phoebe, does this not look like the area where we first met? Those woods with all those wolves.
Does it look like the area where I first met Temin?
No, he's just making like a gesture, like it's a wooded area. Traveling at night.
Okay.
It's not the same tree, but it is a tree.
Yeah.
There are trees. that's kind of like where we first met. But I don't see any wolves. I would like to see some wolves.
The less hungry and ravenous kind, please.
The wolves that we met were really scared, and we helped them kind of figure out their living situation. I'm sure they're much happier now.
I suppose.
You wanted to hurt them.
I was protecting the people.
But listen, what people if it was just me and it was just you?
Fair point.
And Booker agrees. Booker didn't think that was very nice either.
I just lean over. Well, I'm sorry, Booker.
He appreciates that.
I give like a little high five, but with like my finger to Booker.
I would have an interaction with Temin, actually.
Okay.
Throughout the days traveling, I am sure that I have seen Phoebe's character talking to, playing with, encountering, and just throwing around her. What's the bear's name?
Booker.
Booker. Her Booker. And instead of actually asking her, Kane's gonna level with Temin. So what's obviously not for Phoebe to hear. What's her deal with that bear? Have you ever tried to take it from her?
I respect other people and their possessions, but I do
Fine.
not know much about the bear. It is quite a mystery.
Really? You travel with her and you just accepted that?
It's been not that long since we first met.
Well, if she's not a child like you all claim and she's older and can hold her own, there's something with that bear. I've never seen anything like it unless there's a sort of kinship. I'm not saying we should be careful, but I have learned that looks are deceiving. Not for me, though. I'm always going to be the big tough guy, so I'm clearly that.
I believe with certain spellcasters, they have their own various mediums. Something that is close to them, something that they hold dear. Perhaps it is something of that nature for her.
I understand. And I appreciate your honesty, though it does surprise me that you haven't inquired further. But I understand why your character wouldn't. And I'm gonna kind of like pick up and walk a little faster.
Would you prefer I do? As he walks away.
I'm gonna throw it over my shoulder. Just keep an eye out for yourself every once in a while. And then I'll close off the conversation.
All right. So, your travel finally seems to reach its end as you approach farmland and a small town in the distance. There are several homes smattered about throughout the farmland, and you approach under a archway sign that says Oakhurst. It is about midday when you arrive, and there's not too many people milling about. You've seen them tending their farms as you've come in, and a few of them stop to look and to wave. And as you pull in to the main area of the town, Zin stops the caravan and gets up and begins to stretch his legs. Well, I've not seen Oakhurst myself, but I'm certain we can find plenty of information here. I'm going to seek out the village hall. I'll be there talking to the mayor, and perhaps we can reconvene there, or at the inn I trust that they have. He kind of looks about. Yes, perhaps the inn. We'll meet there tonight.
Does the inn have a name?
From here you see it is the Old Boar Inn.
So let me get this straight before you take off. You've never been here, and we're all just gonna go nose about and get some information, right?
Is that not how it works?
No, it's exactly how it works. I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
If you have some wisdom to bestow upon me, I'd be grateful for it.
I'm gonna turn away. All right, guys, we know what we gotta do. We'll see you at the end tonight.
Wait, what are we doing?
I'm gonna just usher Phoebe in the direction, whatever direction I'm going in. We're going this way. Don't ask questions in front of this guy. Let's get away from this guy.
Let's go, Phoebe.
Okay.
Kane is so pleasant.
All right. So, Oakhurst is a very small town. It appears to be mostly humans, though there are the occasional halflings scattered about. And there are a few notable spots in the main area. You have the hall. There appears to be a store and a jail, as well as a blacksmith, mostly for tending farming tools and the such. The inn and a shrine to Pelor.
Do we know who Pelor is?
Roll me a religion check for you.
Okie doke. That is a 6.
Shit,
It's not one of the names that you've heard.
Have I ever been to this city or town? Have I ever been here?
You tell me. About how far do you think Kane has traveled from Waterdeep?
Probably not far, but definitely like outskirty towns. Like towns like next over. Do you know how like a city that he resides in and then cities technically touching it? That's how I feel like he would be in like the outskirts.
Okay.
Neighboring towns.
Yeah, this might be a little further than he'd been because it's on the other side of Neverwinter Wood. You've probably been to Neverwinter, but no real reason to travel to somewhere as backwoods as this.
Okay.
And give me 1 second. I'm gonna switch over. Hopefully this is the song I think it is. It'll do. So, where would you like to head in this small village?
So are we in like a town square right now? Like,
Yeah.
okay, are there shops out here? Or are they all like inside? Are there outside vendors?
There is a general store. That's how
Okay.
small we're talking.
Oh, okay. So we're talking about like legit, like small town, small.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, fine. So Kane's just gonna look at everybody. I'd say that we could split up and maybe get some more information. However, I don't think crossing the street, you and me over there, and then those two over there are gonna do much good. So, I mean, unless we go knocking on people's doors, how do you want to do this? Small one, I heard you asking a lot of questions in that room. That's what we need. We need to find out about those goblins, those apples, anything that comes to your mind.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at Phoebe in particular. I saw you on the trip up with that Zin guy. Yeah, that's his name. Anyway, you seemed like you have a high tolerance for insufferable interactions. So you're definitely probably somebody the most likely to get all the information that we need. I'm gonna go ahead. Go.
Oh, I mean, it wasn't insufferable. It was very educational, and you could have learned.
Okay, that's good.
Listen.
Kane, see, see, you're not gonna be doing all the work here this time. Phoebe's gonna help us.
In the best way possible,
Cole's
Phoebe. In the best way possible.
Little one,
Hi.
I wish you luck.
Thanks.
I looked at Kane. Might I have a suggestion?
By all means.
If they are selling apples to the people, Should we not go to a place that sells apple first?
I'm gonna look over to the general store, and I'm gonna be like, then I guess we know where we might need to start.
I nod.
Okay.
So we're going to the store.
Yes, we all going, and you're leading the way. We'll follow you. And if anybody gives you any trouble, just gesture over your shoulder, and I'm sure it'll all be fine.
Gesture how?
A hand wave will do. And I
Like
just
this? Oh, like this. Okay, I can do that. And then I march proudly over to the general store.
Okay.
As this like interaction between the two of them happens, I'm gonna like communicate with Kane specifically.
Okay.
I'm not too sure about these ones. Are you sure we can go far and meet the goddess?
Oh, goddess, no. No. We're definitely not going to. But remember what I said to you earlier. There is value in meeting all types. I'm going to point and be like, this could be our one and done and we never see them again. However, our missions don't change. We need to move forward with what aid we get at the time. Right now, this is our best bet. We get some dragon, we get back, and we do what we need to do.
Agreed. All right.
But don't set your sights on the goddess just yet, my dear. You see, that is not a task that is going to be done overnight. You might be
She just
banished
seems-
a lot longer than you like. And I'm gonna pat him on the back. But let's go have
He's gotta
fun.
be like, just like, just-
Because, like I said, it's not gonna change overnight.
Thank you for the reminder.
Anytime, friend.
So ahead of you, Phoebe struts up to the village store and pushes open the door, and you hear a little bell ring as the door hits it, and a woman cleaning up some supplies on the shelves, mostly just making sure all the labels are facing forward, you know? She turns, oh, why hello. How can I? Oh, all of welcome to Oakhurst. Pleasure to meet you. My name is Carowin. How can we help you today?
We are in the market for apples.
Yes, you'll find plenty of apples here. I mean, the true apple harvest isn't for a few months, but you know we always have our ways. And she gestures to a barrel of apples.
What kind of ways?
Oh, well, you know, magic is very widespread, and we don't use a lot of it. We're very natural in Oakhurst, but we do still have some of the amenities out of season.
You pick the apples with magic, or you make the apples with magic?
More of a developmental thing, sweetie.
Can you tell me more?
Well, I'm not really an expert on such a thing.
Do you know who might be?
Some of the bigger farmers around here could help you. She looks to the rest of you. But what brings all of you here?
I mean, I'm kind of here for some thread and some honey. Don't tell my friends. I'm supposed to ask about apples. So if you have that on hand, I mean, I'll take it.
Yes, yeah, whatever you need, please look around. Whatever you find that you like, just bring it to the counter and I'll tell you your total.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna look around.
She then looks at the rest of you. Feel free yourselves to grab anything you need to stock up on your travels. She smiles wryly, trying to avoid eye contact with the large blue lizard, as well as the mechanical man with you.
Do I notice the uncomfortable, avoiding of the eyes?
You're looking for honey and bread. What's your passive perception?
Da-na-na-na-na. Let's see. My passive perception is 14.
Yeah.
I notice. All right, so I'm just gonna like, as I'm looking around and be like, oh, those are my friends. That's Kane, that's Ko, and that's Temin. They're all really nice, so feel free to talk to them.
All right. That is if they
Yes,
want
smirk
to
at
talk
her.
to me. She kind of begins to back away. I'll just be over here then.
Do
Okay.
we hear it?
So what are we doing, guys?
I mean, I'm looking for honey and thread.
And thread? Oh, I thought you said bread.
Thread. I know, I caught that. I was
Gotta
like,
get that bread.
Yeah, you find it.
great.
I'm gonna lean into the other two. Listen, it's completely normal that I scare a lot of people with my appearance. I basically had to crouch down to get through that door. Now listen. No problem for Phoebe, a little problem for me. Anyways, I'm gonna let her do her thing. She did great. Remind her to ask her about something else other than the apples. I'm gonna step outside not to intimidate her anymore. But maybe a little more small talk might do. Ko, I hate to put this on you, but you're just so good at work. I'm gonna start walking away. And I'm gonna be like, I will be outside. You should be able to spot me and when you're all done.
I think I'll join, and I walk out with Kane.
All right.
Cole's gotta just be looking like fucking.
Oh.
And then he's gonna start like adjusting himself a little bit and start like getting his vocal cords ready to start clearing his throat a little bit. Maybe take a swig from a water skin, you know, make sure the vocal cords are properly
Wetting the
lubricated.
whistle.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's gonna begin his approach to like try and find where the woman scurried off to.
She kind of hid behind a shelf, but she's there. Yeah, yes, dear.
Miss, truth is, my companions and I, we've arrived in search of information.
Oh,
Yes, it is our belief that, well, not really mine, but the cleric that brought us here believes that we can save the world or something, so long as he puts up this barrier of sorts in the particular place that we are trying to reach.
well,
Now-
we're just a small farming village here. I'm not sure how you could be saving the world with us, but what is this location he's thinking of? Perhaps you got the wrong town.
Well, he's very convinced that this is the spot. See, he made mention of goblins and apples. Do you know of such things?
Oh dear. Yes, we do know. For the past few years, these goblins have been coming from the ancient ruins and trying to sell us a magic apple. A few of the farmers have been a little foolish enough to spend some of their coin on it, but they say it was worth it. Now,
You call them foolish, and they say it was worth.
I
Why is
would
that?
not be paying that much coin for anything a goblin's trying to sell me, honey.
Phoebe's gonna walk up and she would have heard that, right?
Yeah.
And she's like got a jar of honey and she's got some thread and she's gonna like reach up and she's gonna put it on the counter. Well, why would you say such a mean thing? Why wouldn't you buy anything from goblins?
Oh, they're foul creatures, dear. You do not want to consort with them.
You know, I've befriended many a goblin and they were very nice to me, so I don't think that's very nice of you to say that.
Well, I apologize to all your wonderful goblin friends, but the ones we have out here are no such ones.
Have you met one?
I care not to.
Well, then how can you have an opinion?
I see them from a distance, and that's all I need.
I'm gonna place my hand on Phoebe's head. Excuse my friend. She is very nice, quite simply put. While I understand you are not fond of the goblins and don't want to have any interactions with them, what can you tell me about the farmers who did?
Well, they say that it's cured their achy knees and their backs, and that they feel fit as they did decades ago. But their attempts to capitalize upon this fruit and plant the pit of it into the ground a few days later, it's gone, dug up. We're pretty sure those goblins are trying to keep a monopoly on whatever it is they're selling.
Well,
But I mean, that's all I know. That's all most people around here know. You'd have to ask one of them yourselves, and I think the closest person would probably be Garon, over at the inn.
all right.
He's outbid a couple of the farmers the past 2 years in order to get the fruit. He's had a bit of a tough time for these past couple of years with the sickness that he's had, but he's still kicking, so maybe there is some truth, but I'm feeling just fine. I don't think I'm gonna need to buy any apples from goblins anytime soon.
People are bidding on these apples.
Well, the goblins come at the price of 50. The apples come at the price of 50 gold pieces, and at first it was, no one's gonna be paying that, but it's been a few years and they've been pretty consistent with it every summer. Right before harvest season too, and some of these farmers who get it, they do pretty good at bringing out their crop without needing to pay too many of the youngins to help.
How far away are we from harvest season?
Oh, we're a couple of months, probably 2 months actually. So, in fact, the goblins should be back in about a month.
All right. Thank you. You've
Of
been very
course.
helpful.
Of course, dear. I'm happy to help. And for you, honey, that'll be 2 silver, please.
On second thought, I don't really want these anymore, and I'm gonna go put them back.
Well, it was a pleasure to have the conversation with you. Have a great day now.
Yeah, you too. And I'm gonna walk out the door.
I'm gonna walk along with Phoebe and kind of just like telepathically question her. Why'd you put back the items?
Phoebe gets a huge kick out of being able to like telepathically communicate with Ko. Well, she seemed really nice at first, and then she wasn't very nice.
Ah, the goblins.
How can you say you don't like a person if you've never met the person? That doesn't make much sense.
While I understand where you're coming from, there are some forces in worlds that they're not the best, and they have cruel intentions. So they are often met with opposition immediately. Sometimes it's very deserved, though.
So was she being cautious?
Perhaps.
I don't know.
Did you ask her?
No, I guess I didn't.
Think about it. And he's gonna sever the link.
I'm like,
Think about it and walk off.
So while they're inside having their interaction, what are Temin and Kane doing outside?
What do you think about this whole situation, Kane?
I think it's just another job to get done so I can get back and do what I need to do. What about you? There's not many you can protect here other than Phoebe.
If we can stop this minor crisis, then we'll protect many more.
Oh, yeah. You're a big picture guy. I forgot. But I respect that. It disgusts me in a way that, you know what? If you stick out another mission, maybe I'll tell you. I respect it and I hate it all at the same time. But as long as, like I said, you don't get in my way, I'll follow your lead, and I won't interfere with your decisions either.
Fair.
So, small town, not much going on. A lot of apple talk. That's pretty boring. I feel like there's a little bit more when they've got legends floating around. Towns like this are always so superstitious and always buzzing with some information. So maybe me and you, with our fearsome looks, I'm gonna nudge to him. Just be like, maybe we can go question someone else. If there's a blacksmith around here, those guys tend to deal with more gruff types like us.
Sounds like a plan.
So are there any like leather workers, blacksmithers, weapons shop, anything that like would probably see more intimidating types that we could go in?
Yeah, there is a blacksmith. Yeah, you see the sign hanging there. You can head on over.
All right, then I would suggest going over there.
Okay. So Temmin and Kane, you approach the blacksmith. It's a longer building. You can see the plume of smoke coming out of a chimney from the forge within. There are two large doors, like barn doors, that are open, probably to keep the airflow going to cool it off in there. And inside you see a dwarvish man. Lots of tools and metal scattered about, plenty of hooves and farming equipment. The top of this dwarf's head is shiny bald. In fact, when he moves around, you can see the fire glinting off of the sweat. And he has a big, bushy beard that's knotted at the bottom, though it's not very long, just thick on his face. He doesn't really acknowledge you as you walk up. He seems to be busy with what he's doing at the moment, muttering under his breath.
Seems like a lot of work you've got going on. I hope we're not interrupting anything.
Hi there, big fella.
Well, that's a hearty welcome, and it's much appreciated.
What brings you around these parts?
I'm gonna look at Temmin and then look back to him. You know, classic rumors. We're from the south, so we heard there's some fancy apples you got going on up here. And as much as I'm interested in the apples, I'm more interested in why there's a whole town up here that think that the Sunken Citadel is this place that is evoking such magic and all that nonsense. As we both know, right?
Oh, yes, the goblins have been bringing the fruits around every summer. It has been quite the sight to see them running around and trying to get this fruit amongst themselves. I've not cared myself to get involved.
Do you not care or do you don't believe it?
One and the same?
So do you know anything else about that and why people would actually think that it's true when we clearly know that it does not exist?
Well, I don't know anything about fruit, but if we're talking about problems out here, well, people have been nervous to leave their cattle out at night. In fact, I've been losing business because of the tools that have been lost.
In what way, Smith?
Well, in the morning when they find them, people and animals alike, they're filled with these tiny holes throughout their body. It seems they were drained in the night.
Would I know or have an inkling of what kind of creature would do that type of, leave that type of wound?
Give me a nature check.
That is a 3.
Oh, okay. No.
So what does that have to do with trading goblins?
I don't know if it has anything to do with the goblins, but you're poking around asking about questions.
Well, has this been common for some time now? All these animals and the holes?
Yeah, it's been about almost a year at this point.
Would you say it's around the same time all the goblins have been appearing?
No, the goblins have been years, maybe 12 at this point.
12 years. I just looked at Kane.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna be staying here at night, it's good to know that we are gonna have to be cautious. Hey, actually, are we staying here the night, Temin?
I believe so. We have to meet up with that again with that cleric.
I'm gonna smile like a big toothy grin that Temin hasn't seen yet. Well, you like to help people out, don't you?
Are you suggesting that we go for a hunt?
I didn't say we had to hunt anything, but maybe a watchful eye for the night. If the villagers want to close up their shutters extra tight tonight, we can make sure that whatever is running their streets maybe doesn't bother them again. I'm gonna look at the blacksmith.
For a fair price. Look at
Temin, I
Ah.
knew I was gonna like you more and more.
I see, so you're looking to be paid to take care of whatever our nightly problem is.
Well, not at first, but if you have a problem and you can take care of it, why wouldn't you take advantage of that? Looking around a small town as this, I don't exactly think that you might be having folks like ourselves traveling through here often.
You are correct. He takes out a cloth and dabs it on his sweating head. Well, if you're looking to aid us and you need someone to pay, then I suggest talking to Mayor Vernor.
Is that Mayor Werner?
Vernor. Vurnor.
Okay.
I'm sure he would appreciate it. As much as I would myself.
Do you know where he would be in town?
Probably at the hall.
Thank you.
Yes, pleasure. And if either of you need anything custom, it's been a while, but I would love to take a hand.
I'm gonna nod. We'll see you again soon, even if it is just to thank you for the tip, and you're welcome for fixing all the problems you may have.
He nods and goes back to work. About at this time, Ko and Phoebe walk out of the general store, and you see Kane and Temin walking from the blacksmith.
Oh, hi.
So, did you find anything else?
I mean, I found some honey and I found some thread, but I didn't get it because I didn't like the way the shopkeeper was talking about the goblins, so I put it back. But Ko talked to her a little bit.
Yes. Honey and thread aside, apparently there are some ancient ruins that the goblins venture from, and in about a month's time, they will be back. Furthermore, Garen at the inn, motioning to whatever direction the inn is in. He apparently he is among the farmers who have bought apples from the goblins. Apparently, people like to bid on them, and he was the last one to have acquired said apple. The lady in the shop said that he had some physical ailments that no longer affect him as much.
Then might we pay him a visit?
Hey, that's where Zin went, wasn't it?
No, I think he went to go talk to the mayor, and the mayor is in the hall.
That's right.
Well, that's wonderful, because we're going to go talk to the mayor, too.
Oh, should I go to the inn with Phoebe, or should we just go together?
That is completely up to you. If you feel you need to
Well,
retire
then,
and
if
get
it's
a
up to me,
drink.
then you lead the way, Kane.
You hear?
To the mayor, is it?
It is
the mayor.
approaching sunset at this point.
All right. Then we'll go that way.
Okay. Finding the village hall is not that difficult. It's probably the largest building around you. And you step in, and it's pretty vacant in here. There's some flyers posted about and some seating. And then you hear some conversation happening from the far end of the building. You walk down, and there is a door there leading to a room. The door is sealed, but you can hear voices on the other side. One of them being Zin, and another sounding to be a human man.
Do we
I'm
recognize
gonna knock
this?
on the door.
You recognize one as Zin, you don't recognize the other voice. You knock on the door, and the voice stops for a minute, or for a moment, and then the door opens, and there stands a well-dressed human, and behind him is the priest of Tamara. Ah, these must be the ones you have traveled with. And the priest nods, yes, yes. So, you've come to seek out the Citadel.
As the cleric asks for? Yes.
Okay. Well, then I will tell you what I've told him. Well, I can't tell you whether or not it is truly dangerous for those such as yourselves, but for us, we would be greatly in need of somebody solving our problem. Something has been attacking our farmers and cattle at night. And these goblins, who knows what else they are up to. This Belak character, I know not of him, but maybe someone else does. I'm not sure. However, I can point you in the direction of the ruins. Perhaps these are the remnants of the Citadel.
So, go ahead.
Oh, no, Kane. This is all new.
So what you're saying is, you'll tell us the direction of the ruins, then go on. Or are you holding us hostage here with the hope that we help you? Because we came here because we actually knew that your tools were being taken and your animals being drained and people if they were left out too late. We actually already found that out. See, our friend here, Zin, ran straight to the mayor. What a smart man you are. Thank you for inviting us on this traveling, by the way. But we did figure that out. And we were told that if we were to help, that seeing the mayor, you would be willing to maybe pay somebody to do such things. But I don't see how informations of ruins would help just a random person who might not have been looking for the ruins.
Fair. That is fair. If you can solve our nightly problem, you tell me what it is you faced. And at first, I'll pay you 50 gold.
Double that.
But depending on the threat, perhaps that price can rise.
So
I
if
looked
you're
at Kane.
being terrorized by a little puppy, and we stomp that for you, we get 50 gold. But
Yep.
if we find out that something worse is attacking your village late into the hours. We'll get more?
Yes.
Keen, you're not gonna stomp on a puppy, are you?
I'm gonna look at Phoebe and look back. I won't stomp on any puppies, but we will make sure that it stops terrorizing everybody here. Because that is the right thing to do, right, Temin?
Right.
That would be greatly appreciated.
Okay.
And if this threat is something so vast that it becomes so dangerous that, which is unlikely, one of us shall perish. One of us lives to tell the tale. Who gets paid then? What if your monster problem is much bigger than this situation that we have here? Do we get money for just investigating your problem because none of your folks seem to live long enough to even inform you what the creature is? Because I can't promise I can eradicate big beasts that are the size of your houses.
Well, as of now, we have no information, so I guess some would be better than none. I'll pay you half for information only.
Fine.
All right.
That's more than we were going to get walking into this town anyways, am I right? I'll
I
just
mean,
look to the
if you
party.
can't do it, Keen, Temin might be able to. He's pretty tough.
Listen, Phoebe, I'm just starting to like Temin. Please don't make comments like that.
Okay.
Tell him
I'm
you did
confident
nothing.
we can do it
Rolling on the
together.
floor
Okay.
laughing.
It is fine what Phoebe just said. I like you again.
All right. Well, the ruins that you seek is just to the west. In fact, if you... Let me show you. He walks you out to the front of the hall, and the sun is setting on the horizon, starting to cast a orange to red to purple in the sky. He points down a winding path through some farmland, various crops, and you see it does, in fact, continue on, but there is a slight fork in the road. Much less of a road and more of a rough, beaten path that heads to the west towards Neverwinter Wood. That road there should lead you to the ruins you seek. Zin thanks Mayor Werner graciously, and he nods. And remember, 25 for information, 50 for problem solved.
And more if it was really scary for someone the size of this one here, right?
Bring something back, and we'll discuss the higher pay.
Fair.
Well, I bid you all a good night. And he heads back into the hall.
Bye.
Well, I guess it's a good thing you didn't head back and retire for drinks in the night, Ko. You'd miss out on all the fun.
Listen,
Don't worry, I wouldn't have let Ko sleep in on this one. He loves doing hard work.
Yeah.
exactly. This thorn, if you will, not allow me to have the easy night.
Now listen, you don't need to recover from anything. It's okay if we're a little exhausted tomorrow. However, did we ever get a time when these beasts show up? Because if it is early enough, we may be able to get some rest before...
No. There will be no rest. You've already set us down this path, and we shall proceed.
I'm gonna look at Phoebe.
Till they arrive.
Phoebe, go ask Zin if he knows what time these monsters show up.
Okay. Where's Zen?
He's there with you.
He's literally standing right next to us.
Are you having this conversation right outside the hall, or are you walking to the tavern, or the inn, rather?
Of Cool. So I'm gonna walk over to Zin and I'm gonna pull on his robe.
Yep.
Hey, Zin,
Yes.
I have a question.
Of course, Phoebe.
What time are the scary monsters supposed to show up tonight?
Well, according to the mayor, they seem to appear about midnight.
Okay.
I'm gonna yell over to Phoebe, who's literally like probably right next to me. Phoebe, ask him if he's going to help us.
Okay. Hey Zin, are you gonna help us with the scary monsters?
That is why I'm paying you all.
Okay, tell
Wait.
Zin thank you and tell him good night. Tell him he can go to bed, Phoebe.
Wait. You're
Phoebe,
paying-
just tell him that he can go to bed and we will talk about this later.
Wait, I have a question.
Phoebe, please don't waste your breath. Just tell him good night and we'll go on our way.
I'm gonna grab Kane's arm and mentally just like shout at him, stop getting the girl to do your work. There is no
What?
lazy ways, no quick ways out this time. You are in charge.
If I'm in charge, I'm gonna get yelled at if I handle it the way I want to. I'm doing my best here.
Clearly you can try harder. And I imagine that like literally is like a face off and like Ko's got Kane's arm and they're literally just staring at each other having this mental
I'm
conversation.
staring as hard as I can.
Does Temin pick up on this?
Oh yeah, yeah. Whatever is, you can assume that they're talking to each other mentally. Zin is kind of taking a few steps back. I'm going to go get a room at the inn.
Okay, see you when we fight the scary monsters.
Please do so.
Kane, did I do it right?
Phoebe, you did. Just ask less questions next time and just do as I say. But you did great that first half.
But how
And
are
I'm
you
gonna kind of pull my arm away from Ko, and you did great. Don't
Ko's
worry.
just like he gives it up freely. He's just
Okay.
like shaking his head like fuck.
Okay.
Here we go again.
So you do have some time before the monsters appear at midnight. What else would you like to do?
Are we in a wooded area?
Not right now.
Never mind.
Okay.
Um
You did get a tip about Garen knowing something.
Oh yes. We should go to the tavern. Not for resting though. You don't get to have that this time.
Is that the guy who was sick?
Yes. That's who the shopkeeper told me about.
I wanna go say hi to him.
Lead the way.
I like that.
Wait,
idea,
wait.
Phoebe.
I take that back. Kane. Please.
Why would you take this away from the small one? If she wants to lead the way, we should let her
We
do
don't
that.
know what dangers could be at the inn, and you are the largest, so you should take it.
Ko, I am also the scariest. No offense, Temin. I don't know
Oh,
if you wanted to
then
win that one, but
It will be
listen.
a bad cop, good cop situation.
What if Booker leads the way?
I like that idea. Booker, please lead the way.
All right, Booker, lead the way. We're gonna
Wear
start
the
walking.
muscle. If anything touches her, I get to tear it to shreds.
I'm with Kane.
I can't protect her if she's behind me. I can't see her there.
So Booker leads the way to the the inn.
Yeah, at this point, she's already walking. It's
Uh,
God.
You approach, and the sign over the door is in the silhouette of a boar's head, and in what is left of the setting sun, you can see a carved impression of a boar. You swing open the door, and there is some candlelight inside illuminating the inn. And Zin is there. It looks like he just sat down to relax, and then he sees you all come in, and you see his body tensen back up.
Hi, Zen.
I'm gonna lean into Phoebe real quick and be like, ask him if we told him to go to bed or not.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go over to Zen.
Hello again.
Hi. Did we tell you to go to bed?
I'm just having a meal, and then I will be right to sleep. Angus didn't like that.
Please enjoy your meal. It may or may not be your last if we fail.
That's very reassuring. A man from behind the bar acknowledges all of you. Ah, been a while since we had a late night visitor, let alone 4. And like yourselves, what can I do for you, Garen?
Just the man we're looking for.
Do I owe you money?
Do you want to owe me money?
I don't think Garen wants to owe you money.
Well then, to our current business then. I'll
Okay.
motion to to Phoebe. You'll see that I start to lean towards Kane, and then I'm like, okay, fine, just give it to the girl. Motion to Phoebe.
I'm gonna be like, see, you know what's up. You know what we're doing here.
Who's that?
That, Phoebe, is Garen.
Oh, you're sick. How are you feeling?
And who told you that?
I don't remember who told me that. Who told me that?
Carolyn, the shopkeeper, whatever her name may be.
Ah, yes, Carowin.
Carowin.
Carolyn?
Yeah.
Oh, with a W. Oh, thank you for the correction.
Yeah, she told me. She said, nope, actually, she didn't tell me. She told Ko. She told Ko that you ate a bad apple and now you don't feel well.
Well, if you must
No.
know,
I
I
think I'm confused.
I'm confused.
Yes.
I'm always confused.
Apple
Yeah.
that the
I
goblin.
yes, one of
Fancy.
the red apples that the goblins sell every summer. Yeah. I thought it was a load of crap until you know,
You've been healed, yes.
yeah. Until
Alright.
Corky had one. There we go. Found it. Until Corky ate one, and you know, I had to try it myself. So he gave me
Corky
a
is
slice.
Another farmer.
One of the she is the keeper of the shrine of Pelor.
Wait, so you were fine. No, so you were fine, then you ate the apple, and then you were fine again, and then you decided you should eat another apple, and now you're not fine.
Excuse her.
I had a sickness. I tried some of the apple that Corky bought, and for the past 2 years, I have outbidded everyone in town for that apple.
Do you
Okay.
begin to feel unwell if you do not eat the apple?
I don't know. And in fact, I hadn't thought about that. That may be worrying.
Garen, how old are you?
46.
And do
And you
have
look at
any
this guy.
apples?
You look at this guy. There's no way this dude's 46. He looks like he's 28.
And do you have any more apples in your possession?
No.
46.
They're not very easy to preserve. It seems once you start eating it or cut it in any way, it doesn't last more than a couple days. So I did plant the seeds, though. I planted the last 2 seeds. They're gone. I think the bastards took them back. Goblins.
Garen, I know it's a small town here, but do you have maybe a long-term wait staff? Any help in second hand in here that has been helping you the past couple years?
Well, the kids sometimes help me out for a couple silver a week, but no.
Do you have any
We don't get
employees
many
in there now?
visitors. It's just him.
Garen, you said the bastards took them. Who are the bastards?
Okay, well, I assume it's the goblins, right? Who else could it be?
Phoebe's gonna remain quiet.
Why do you want to know whom I've had? I've owned this tavern for years. My father gave it to me when I was only 18.
Listen, it's not that I don't believe you, but it is that I don't believe you. Your genetics must be fantastic if you look like that at 46. But I could fact check you if you had an employee that maybe knew you a few years back before you started eating the apples. I could ask them if your hair is great or if you had worry lines. But I can't, so I'm just gonna have to assume that your parents had a wonderful pairing. Congratulations on that.
Oh no, I assure you, it most certainly has been the apples.
Whatever you say, man. But I think my friend here, Ko, gives you something to think about. What if your apple trade stops, or if you don't eat your apples anymore? A little worrying.
Like, who the fuck is the code that you're speaking of? Because you're doing great with this.
Temin said that.
Herman, sorry.
I don't know, and like I said, I hadn't really thought of it, and now it kind of worries me, and I don't want to have to get them every year. I wasn't intending on getting this next one, but now I think I might have to. Thanks for that.
Do you not believe that you may be cursed?
I hadn't thought about that either. You guys are just a lovely bunch.
I'm gonna smile and be like, Temin, I like you more and more every minute.
Is there... Can I offer you lodging? Is there more information I can give you that doesn't have to pertain to my worry about my life now? I thought I was clear of this.
Worry not. She is the peace cleric, and I am a paladin. We'll give you all the healing should you need it.
Clearly, I'm a ravenous dragon, and if you don't feed me, I don't know what the consequences are. I worry about full moons and stuff, but that's not something you should worry about. However, we must stay up, so if you would like to feed us, that would be amazing. Because we're gonna take care of your little vermin problem you got going on.
Oh, yeah, but sure. I'll be right back with that.
I promise.
Wait, before you go,
Go ahead.
Phoebe's gonna jump up on the counter and she's gonna poke his nose and go boop, and I'm gonna cast Luster Restoration.
Thank you. Did
Okay,
you...
bye. I'm just gonna walk away.
I feel like I could go all night. All right. And he goes and gets your food with a pep in his step. So, the next couple of hours pass, and you do ask him more questions about what he was not thinking about the negative effects of these apples would be. And, you know, you grill him more about how long he's been here and ask him some questions. And one of the locals, in fact, did come in to eat. And he asks you all about who you are. He's very intrigued into your group. And he does, in fact, confirm Garen, 2 years ago, he had one foot in the grave. And now it's like his younger brother is here today.
Does this guy have a name?
This other guy?
Yeah.
It's Greg.
Greg is the new Jonathan.
I mean, I know this is pre-written, but you just really aren't even gonna try?
Hold on. Let me flip to the table of human names, and I'll just grab one from there. You like Greg? You have a problem with Greg?
That was a perfect one.
Love Greg.
I already typed Greg. It's cool.
All right,
It's
it's
that
Greg.
water went right up my nose when you said that.
It looked like I was losing you there, so you know I had to bring you back in. So yeah, it's almost midnight. You're there with Greg and Garen, and you know you're talking about time prior. It gets the wheels spinning in Garen's head, and he goes, "You know what? It's kind of hard to forget this guy, but it seems very coincidental now that I put them together. But the year before the goblins started selling their apples, like 13 years ago, a man came through here. It was kind of weird. We don't often get visitors, but this guy was very peculiar. You remember him, Greg?" And Greg's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. He goes, yeah. He had like a frog with him. A giant frog. You tell me you don't remember this? And then it's like, how could I forget? Greg's like, yes, that guy with the giant frog. He was so fucking weird. And Garen goes on. He's like, yeah. What was his name again? Like, Belnet? Belak? Something like that?
So, well then, that gives us much to think about.
Do you know this guy?
Apparently, he is the root of all evil, and we must stop him.
Oh, maybe he's the reason I got sick. That's a joke.
What else could you tell us about him?
Dude was weird. Had a strange look in his eye. Wore skins, like animal skins. He had a gnarled staff made out of wood. Strange guy.
Might you be able to tell us about his giant
Tattoos on his face.
frog or toad?
Yeah, he had a giant toad. It was like as big as a horse.
And he rode on this toad?
Oh, I didn't see him ride it. That would have been really crazy. But it followed him. And I remember when he bought food, he didn't even eat it. He fed it to the frog.
Wait, did he follow the frog or did the frog follow him?
Now, there's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Then, everyone with a passive perception over 10, you hear a scream outside.
Phoebe runs outside.
I run outside.
Following.
I walk outside.
Outside, it is dark, save for a few lanterns lit. And a man is running down the road, yelling and waving his arms. They've got me! They've got my horse! And then something tackles him to the ground, and he lets out another scream before silence. 4 small, shadowy forms shift about on the road ahead of you. They're about 60 feet from you.
I would like to use Divine Sense to see if they're celestial, fiend, or undead.
They are none of those.
Do they have a shape, or are they just...
Actually, you know what? I may have misspoke. Give me a second. I've got them here.
Our divine sensing robot man.
A fiend detector.
Yeah, no, they are none of those. What were you saying, Kane?
Do they have like a shape, or are they just shadowy? Like, what's their shape?
You can't really make them out too much at this distance.
And how many are there?
4.
4.
They're small. They're about Phoebe's size.
Kane, walk with
Tevin.
me. And I just pull my 2 dual scimitars out from my back.
All right.
All right, I'll walk with them.
So, you approach, and there in the road seem to be mini tree creatures.
Like from a tree or look like a tree?
made of wood. They have branches sticking out of their heads and their shoulders every which way, and they've got long, branch-like, spiky fingers. And they look up at you with these black eyes.
Are they covered in blood or anything? Like
They have blood on them, yes.
Without hesitation. Raising both my blades. Kane, you know what must be done.
I'll ready my weapon.
All right. And I won't even have you roll initiative for this. Both of you roll me an attack.
Oh, where am I going?
What'd I do? 2 because I have dual blades?
Do you make 2 attacks? Let me see.
It's if I make an attack, I can use a bonus action to do the special thing.
Okay, sure.
I don't know what's wrong with my character sheet, but apparently all the equipment that we put on Kane last night is not there anymore. So I don't know what my stats are.
Maybe refresh it.
Okay, there it is. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Oh, they're walking up and stuff.
Yeah,
I think
they're
I'm gonna
walking up.
kind of like just palm Phoebe's head to make sure she
Yeah.
doesn't move. Let us watch.
It's a 12 and a 22 to hit.
Those both hit. You cut both of them in half. Kane,
And I got 25. I got
And
a
then
nat 20.
you come up with your great sword, and with one swing, you cut down the other 2. All 4 now lay crumpled on the ground. They let out no noise.
Mm.
I'm
But-
gonna run over to the guy who got attacked.
Just slow down.
I'm gonna look at the moon. What time is it?
Moon is high in the sky.
So I can guess around midnight.
Yeah. That wouldn't really
Well, you know, can I
correlate,
gauge?
but
can
you
time
feel,
midnight?
yeah, you feel it's about the time, yeah.
Okay.
As I feel Phoebe trying to move forward, I'm going to walk with her, but like kind of like when you try to keep a kid from going too fast.
Where's my leash?
Kinda like
Get my
when-
leash.
Yes. I'm gonna kind of just like escort her over to the body, and explain that like we don't know, there could be more.
I'm gonna look at Temin and basically express the same thing. What the hell are these things?
Would we know? You want us to roll like a nature or something check?
You can roll a nature check to determine what exactly these creatures are. Based on how they look, laying there in pieces, looks like dead wood, like branches in like a dead bush. You really cannot distinguish them too much while they're just sitting here.
That's a 16 for nature.
Yeah.
I got a fucking 19. And I'm the one who goes, "What are these things?"
Oh yeah.
So you know that
Flashback.
you know that these are twig blights.
Oh.
They are creatures that grow from a seed, very much like other plants do, but they have been tainted by some form of magical energy. They are very often carnivorous, and this causes them to attack from the shadows at night. But while they're motionless, they have a natural disguise and just look like debris.
Is he dead?
The man is almost dead.
Cure wounds.
He has been cured. He's been stabilized. He is unconscious,
Sweet.
but he is saved.
I'm gonna call over Phoebe and Co.
They're all there.
Oh, okay. I didn't know how far away they were from the man.
You're all right.
Well,
Do I know anything about maybe how many that come in a pack, or is it just they just exist, or is it?
Well, with your amazing roll, you know, Kane knows everything about twig blights. So
Kane was bored, so he read a book once.
For Kane.
They aren't known to travel in packs. But, you know, if they're... sorry. It's neither common nor uncommon. They're these type of creature where, like, you could definitely find them alone, you could definitely find them in groups, but there has been no study on their communication or pack mentality or anything like that.
Okay.
So there could be more out there, but based on their size and capabilities, you think all of them that could attack this guy probably did.
Okay, I think our best bet is to grab the corpses, keep them with us for the mayor in the morning. Temin, I think we should split up. We should go and tell all the townsmen that are out and about at this hour. They should all lock up their shutters and stay in for the rest of the night, and we can stay up and patrol the streets if there are any more.
I agree. Might
Yes,
these
Phoebe.
be?
Oh, go ahead.
Might these be sown from the seeds stolen from Garen? These creatures?
I like where your head's at. I wasn't gonna say it, but it might be. They're corrupt in some way, and if those seeds don't want to stay planted, they could very well turn to twig blights. Not sure what these seeds even produce, those type of things, but it's a very likely scenario. We should also find out how long these twig blights have been bothering this town. Sorry, I got distracted with Trop's fan art and stream about these fucking twig blights. Sorry, they just popped up and now I can't fucking think of anything else. Hold on. Yeah, we need to figure out how long they've been terrorizing the town, if that's in correlation when they started planting those seeds. But I think it's best if we gather the bodies and make sure everybody else is in for the rest of the night.
Okay.
I'm proud of you, Kane. Really showing those investigation skills.
I have a couple of questions.
Ah, yes, little one.
One, what do we do about him? And two, what about his horse?
Talking about the guy that she rezzed. I think his horse might need to stay where his horse is. But if you'd like to aid him home and make sure he gets inside, I'm sure he will cover just fine.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that.
I'm going to take a knee and pulling out my greatsword off my back and sheathing my two other dual blades. I'm going to take the greatsword off and almost saying like a prayer. I'm going to take the greatsword and stab it right into the corpse of the horse and just smear it with blood onto the blade. If it senses the smell of blood, it'll go after me. And I put it back onto my back.
I hate it when you do that.
Phoebe, you understand why.
No! I mean, yes, but no!
Please, we must avenge it, even for its short life.
I'm gonna
It is-
grumpily stomp away.
Okay.
She gets like that at times.
Phoebe, wait. Aren't you forgetting someone? And I'm gonna kind of like.
You're bigger than me, you get him. And I'm gonna keep walking.
I'm gonna turn. Kane, you're bigger than me. You get him.
I'll roll my eyes. Fine. I'm gonna pick him up and like kind of up his head near my head. Can't you walk at all? Like, you can't even walk a little bit?
He's like,
Is he unconscious?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him a smack to the face and then use lay on hands for 1 point.
What happened? My
We need
horse.
to take you home. You need to show us where you live. It is not safe out here.
That way.
All right, Phoebe, come with me. Temin, Co, you start clearing the streets, and we'll follow after we tuck this man in.
Do I really have to?
All right.
Come on, Phoebe, and I'm gonna go in the direction he pointed.
So you take the guy home. You make sure that he will make it all right. The other two of you, you inform those that you can to stay inside and that there could be more of these creatures out there. And then, what else would you like to do this night, if anything?
I'd like to make sure we have the bodies of those little creatures.
All right, you do retrieve them.
And probably just keep an eye out.
Okay. The rest of the night goes by without any other interruption. You do not see any more of these creatures, and you do not hear anything more than the sound of night. And in the next morning, I assume you would bring these corpses straight to the mayor. All right.
I want to take off a piece of the blight, and somewhere he'll remember. I want to like dig out a small spot and just stick a part of like the blight into the ground and just bury it and just periodically check on it and see if anything's grown from it.
A small sprout comes out of the dirt, small and green.
Doesn't look dead. Would I have any inkling of magical power being able to feed into the life force of living things like plants?
There could be some residual magic here that is causing life to grow. And you don't know if that sprout came from this area of dirt or the bit of twig. You would have to dig it up to look.
Oh, God. I'm going to dig it up.
All right.
Considering how it's just a short amount of time.
Yep. Nothing was growing out of the twig.
Sigh of relief.
All right. So you head back to the mayor. Oh. So you've brought me what exactly? I heard what happened last night, and thank you for saving the life of one of our people.
You can thank Phoebe for that.
I
She made sure he made it out.
Thank you. He is very grateful, and so is his family.
I'm sorry about his horse.
These are things that can be replaced.
The issue you had were tree blights.
Interesting.
Do you know anything of these creatures and how they come about?
Just stories about the woods coming to life, but nothing more than that.
It's a little more than that. You know, we're a farming village around here and people planting seeds all willy-nilly. People should be more careful, especially with legends floating around about magical fruit. Me and my friend here think that maybe these apples had something to do with it. People planting, wanting more, could have caused these creatures to pop up. They exist from seeds, corruption, and they thirst for blood. Do it again, they'll keep coming back.
That is interesting. We have had this problem for a little while now. Could absolutely be correlated. All right. If we buy any more of these apples, I will make it a law that these seeds cannot be planted.
Yeah, and so we got a couple bodies here, and my shoulder is a bit thrown out, though.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh,
So
you're hurt, Kane?
yes, it must have been from when I leaped into action to help save that man's life and
Oh, okay.
stop these creatures.
Well, cure wounds.
Thanks. Thanks,
Oh.
Phoebe. Thanks, Phoebe.
Phoebe, I think it takes a little bit more than just simple healing.
Yes, it was a little more than that, but thank you.
Okay. Let me
All right.
let me think.
I understand. He counts out some coins and hands you a pouch. 40. Wait. No, he said 50 for killing them. Sorry. 60.
Yes. Okay. That seems fair. I won't push the agenda anymore. I'm not going to promise you that these things aren't coming back. However, we took care of 4 of them. Maybe we patrolled the streets for the rest of the night and saw nothing. Maybe others took off into the woods and were eating deer or what have you. But as of now, we took care of those. Hopefully with the education of what they are, you can combat the rest, if there are any yourselves.
You've done us a great service. Thank you.
And any other information on those runes or anything else that... Actually, now that I'm thinking about it late night in the bar, have you any connection or understanding of the name Belak?
I know none by this name. Well, I know a few rumors, actually, of a mad mage by the name of Belak.
That is the man.
It seems perhaps he may be the one responsible.
Well,
It's a good
in a
thing I
month's-
pointed the runes out to you yesterday.
why? What happened to the runes?
No, you know where they are.
Yes, then we're gonna go that way. Thank you. But in a month's time, again, make sure your people know and they don't plant those seeds when those goblins come back.
As I said, I will certainly make it a law here that those seeds are not to be planted.
Indeed. And I pull off the blade, the great sword, and kind of holding it in front of me, I just take a rag with a stone in it and just wipe it as you see blood just splatter out onto his floor, and I'm making eye contact with him.
Well, that's rude. And I'm gonna pull out a rag and I'm gonna start like wiping it up.
Okay, you may leave now.
I'm
But
gonna kind of drag Phoebe out while she's in the middle of cleaning.
But I'm
just-
not. Okay.
All right. So, your lovely friend Zin is outside waiting for you. He seems to have had a great rest. And he sees you all. Oh, I heard that you had dispatched of the problem that they had been facing in the night. That's wonderful. I knew you were the right pick for this job. But I do think time is of the essence. Are you ready to travel to the ruin? Now, you have not rested at all.
I was about to say, I am super sleepy.
How about this? We know time is of the essence, and doing this town a favor, and obviously connected to whatever fruit you're looking for. If we could just have a short rest, we'll be better equipped to make sure that your safety is ensured moving forward.
I think yes, that would be best. Yes.
I do not tire, so I will stand guard.
Okay. And with that, our party takes a rest. Before in the morning, they venture to the ruins in seeking the Sunless Citadel. Boy, oh boy, does that bring us to the end of this first episode of The Return of Fancie's Fables.
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Yay!
Da-da-da!
We had fun. Well, I had fun. I don't know.
I
about everybody else.
had
Oh, yeah!
loads of fun.